Another subject, women with money. This is important for women with money, or women who are planning to have all this money. Let me just say this right off the rip. Men with money don't want women with money. They don't want it. And when you see two stars who marry and got money, it never lasts. It never works, because the only way it will is if if the woman submits to the man. If she doesn't submit to the man and she's going to be all about her stuff, and the man, either he drops and let her take the lead, but if the woman takes the lead, it's going to go bad. If the woman refuses to submit, guess what happens? The relationship crumbles. Men with money don't usually want to talk to women with money, unless those women with money are willing to put their money in with the man with money. But women who want to be boss chicks, get the money, and then think that she's going to keep her money, he's going to pay for her and do all of this, got news for you. Nobody's coming. You can wait and wait and wait. Nobody's coming. Another one. You get old to go get the money because it takes time to get it. And then you get old and you get the money and you think, now I'm entitled to talk to the man on my level. Listen, ladies, you're not on the level as far as men are concerned. Men don't compete with women. Let me repeat that. Men do not compete with women. A woman on a level, you ain't physical body wise is where you are leveling at. Money wise, job wise, career wise, you ain't leveling nowhere with men. So any man to sit there and smile with you and tell you all that shit, they don't want women with money, because you guys are more masculine. You guys act like men. You guys are not submissive. You're not going to do what you told. If he says, I want, to go cook this meal, I don't feel like cooking a meal. You should hire somebody to cook us a meal. He's coming home that he's paying for everything with his money. You got money and you feel that you a boss, so you don't have to do anything. And when he wants sex, I don't feel like it. So guess what? This is why you guys don't get dated. Men don't want boss chicks. I'm going to repeat that. Men do not want boss chicks. You guys got this all wrong. If you want men and you want to have power, you got to go below average or average men to get what you want. But men that are above average men that look nice and have their money, that ain't going to work. Above average men, period, do not want women. The majority of these men do not want any women who have money and think that you're a boss. I'm going to tell you that. Really educated women, men don't usually want that either. Because if you ain't submissive and you ain't feminine, they don't want it. And you got to look real good on top of all of this. So if you're coming in there thinking, I'm going to get the money and he'll overlook it, men will never overlook it, because they are visual, physical creatures. And it's what he sees he likes, and it's not any other way. Your physical and your looks comes first, and then all that other stuff comes after. So when you go get the money, you can have whatever you want. Men don't care about that. They just don't care, because you're not sharing your money with him. So it's like sitting next to somebody that's stingy or that's rich, but they won't give you $1. Who cares about your money if you're not giving or sharing with the other person? If you're not making your money accessible like you want him to make his bank account, his car, his money, and his network and his resources available for you, then men don't care about that stuff. You can't even put it on the table, because he's the table. Everything that he's earned is his assets, his success, his time and energy and resources that's on the table for you to use. So how could you be the table? Your body is not a table. You done been around. You're not new. You're used. You're a used car. You're older, it don't matter how good you look. You're a used vehicle. And women are always trying to make themselves equal with the men. This is not equality here. It's just not. You wanted to be independent. You went after your money. This is what you get when you're independent. This is independent. Independent is not needing the help of anyone. You can do it on your own. You can pay your own money. So that's the meaning of independent, and y'all use that very well, but you guys twist everything. Here's what you guys say that I find crazy. Oh, I'm independent. I'm this, I'm that. I don't need no man. Da 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 da. A man goes to make money so that he can take care of his family and the people he loves. A woman goes to get money to be independent of a man. So here's where I have a problem. You guys say, oh, I'm independent. I don't need no man. I got my own place, my car, my career, which is really a job if you live in check to check, not a career. It's a job. So you want to say career? We can do that. But here's the thing. If you went to get all of that, that's just an average adult. There's nothing special that you have a job, you have a car, you have a place. That's an average, normal adult. I'm going to repeat that. That's an average, human, normal adult. That's nothing to throw a party about. That's nothing you're going to come in and people going to be impressed by. Let me say something else to you. If you're independent, the thing that gets me with you guys, this is what really blows me away. You guys say, oh, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, got my own car, my own place, my job, my career, I got my degrees. You say all of this shit. And in the next breath, you're saying, I want a man who makes 6 figures a year on my level or better to come in and pay all my bills. That's not independent. If you're independent, pay your own bills. If you're independent and got your money, put in when it's time to pay. You pull out and pay half for everything with him. Then you can talk about independent. Because to me, you can't say independent and then you're looking for someone to take care of you. You can't say I went to school and I got these degrees, but you want to leave, you want to quit work, and you want this guy with money to take care of you, and you don't want to have to do anything. Then what did you go to school for? What you should have done was learn how to be feminine and how to cater and take care of a man, because that's what's going to keep you with a husband and your marriage works. Ladies, if you go out here and you get married and you have children and you stay with the guy 10 or 15 years, great. But if you divorce that guy and you leave that guy and you come back to the market with babies, you're older and you're a used vehicle with miles and you've had multiple owners, listen to me and hear me well. You'll say, oh, well, I was with this guy 15 years and that was 15 years he benefited from. That has nothing to do with now. You're on the market and the men are the market. So if you was with a man 15 years ago, none of the men on the market care about that. It's a conversation. We'll listen to you, but we ultimately do not care about what you gave another guy. That has nothing to do with what you're giving us. And what we're judging you on is what we see that you're showing us and how you're treating us. Not what you did for him, not what you did for that one. How can that count when you're coming? If I came to you ladies and I said, I treated her good and, I gave her 20 good years and I gave my heart and soul to that. And I'm over here talking to you, but I ain't got nothing left to give you. You ain't going to give a shit about what I gave her. You only going to care that I'm not giving you the shit. And then if I'm telling you all this shit I did for her and I ain't doing it for you, the first thing you going to say is, well, shit, you did all that for her. You ain't doing shit for me. You going to judge me for what I'm giving to you right now, not what I gave to somebody else over there that don't benefit you at all. That's the truth. So that's the same way that the men are looking at it. I don't know why women think that you got a mind to look at stuff, but the man just don't have the same mind you do when they're logical creatures, and they're just, they're just not gonna look at that. We don't care about your resume for somebody else. When you're on the market, that was a failed marriage, whether it was 20 years, 25, 15, unless that person died. If you divorce that person and you leave, that's a failed marriage. And when you come over here from a failed marriage, it didn't work. You're back on the market, and we can't judge you for what you look like over there when you were with him in the beginning. We only going to look at what you look like right now. So women that are older, that are coming to go out here looking for men, listen, and listen well. Men are visual, physical creatures. It's what you look like. Physically, he has to be attracted to you. He cannot overlook what you look like. He cannot overlook what you look like because you're nice or because you got a good heart. Let me explain, ladies, and I don't want you to get offended to anything that I'm going to say. All right? A man gets an erection and get aroused by what he sees, not what he hears, what he sees. A man, that's why strip clubs do so well, because men go in there, they look at those women and they're visual and they like what they see. They're attracted. Some men get aroused because they can't control themselves. Some men just like looking, but they don't get aroused because they know that they're not sleeping with this woman. It's not real. She's real, but him sleeping with her, having something with her, it ain't real. So you got some men that can put it in perspective. You have some men that just can't. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's still, both men are visual, physical creatures. It's what they see that they like. And if the man is not physically attracted to you, he's not going to date you. He's not going to marry you. He might sleep with you if you're nice and you're decent looking, but he's not going to date you. He's not going to marry you. And if you ain't what he physically likes, a lot of men will just overlook you. So ladies who don't have booties and titties, don't think that, you know, your hair being real, your makeup and all this stuff, we don't care for makeup. Your hair can be real, but if you don't have any parts, you don't have a booty, you don't have hips, you don't have titties, you're below average on a scale. That's just what it is, because you're being compared to all the other women. And when women say, well, I ain't in a competition. Yes, you are. In the minds of men, yes, you are. Because on the market, when you go to get a new car, what would you do? You're going to compare this one to that one. You're going to compare this price to that price, this body to that body. Is this roomy enough? Is it this year to that year? This is an old one. That's a new one. That's what you're going to do. Why don't you think the men will do the same thing? There are many women and few men. Why don't you ladies think that a man is going to just pick you and he's not going to look at anything else? That's just not the way the world works. People are going to come by. You're going to see people. It's about trust. But what we're talking about is ladies who think that you want to be independent and you want to get the job and be the boss chick. Let me tell you what independent comes with. Independent comes with maintenance, money. You want to be independent? Okay, so let's fast forward and walk down that road real quick. You go get the house. You go get the car. You got the career. It took you years to get the money. Follow me. Because you guys don't look at the future very much. And I've noticed that about a lot of you, because a lot of you cannot handle reality. And when you see something bad, you'll wipe it off and say, oh, that's negative. I don't want to look at it, when that's reality. If I'm going to get into boxing, anybody should know you're going to get hit. So if I don't want to look at getting hit because it's negative, that's what I'm going to say. No, it's not negative. That's reality. If I'm going to get up here and I'm going to go to a mud event where we're mudding in the cars, but I don't want to get muddy, or I don't want to get mud all over my clothes. That would be dumb to think. When I'm out here and we're going in the mud to mud in these cars, everybody's going to get muddy. Everybody's going to get dirty. So ladies, listen to what I'm saying. this is what comes with independent. You get the house, you get the car, you don't have a man. Now, who's going to go and paint that house? You're going to have to pay for it. The older you get, the more your looks fade. Men don't even want to sleep with you. Now it's about money. You old, you can't change the tires. You can't do the oil change. You got to take it to men. You don't have a man, they're going to try to take advantage. You look nice, they still going to want your money and they're going to want to sleep with you. But they're not going to do it for you because you look nice. They're not going to do it for you when they see what you're driving. They're going to want to get paid. They're not cutting your yard. A boyfriend might help out here and there, but he's not going to cut your grass every month or every 2 or 3 weeks. He's not going to cut your grass because you're not his wife. That's not his house. And he's not going to put his time and energy into it because it's a liability to him. The same way you're not going to come over and do that kind of stuff for him on a daily basis because you don't live there. So I don't know where women are thinking that you're special or that you're supposed to come first, because nowhere in that Bible is saying that. It said that Eve was made because Adam was lonely to be Adam's companion. Not for Adam to worship Eve. Not for Adam to put Eve on the pedestal. Not for Adam to do what Eve said. Not for Eve to lead. It was for Eve to be Adam's companion. Not the other way around, where Adam was supposed to do all this stuff towards Eve. Now, men are going to put women a bit first. But I don't agree, and most men don't. They're not going to... A man that's seen you and he don't want to marry you, he's not going to pay your bills. No man, every man would agree with that. And ladies, you better wake up, because marriage is not a man's priority, but it is important when it comes to what he will do for you as a boyfriend or a person that's seeing you versus what he will do for you if he sees you as a wife or he's married to you. It's not the same. So when you go get that house, you're going to have to pay for the maintenance, the upkeep on that house. You don't got a man, you got to do it. Now you're going to be calling your brother. You're going to be calling your son. If you had kids, you're going to be asking of other men things that they should not have to do. And the only reason you're asking is because you don't have a fucking mate and you don't want to pay the money. So you're going to call on any man you get, which means you didn't do your job and you did not get you a mate. Which means your great-grandma beat you because they were married. Great-grandma was married. She was married and had children. That's the goal of life for women. Not jobs, not careers. To have a family, to have children, a legacy, something to leave behind with your DNA to follow in your steps. But if you get kids and then you want to raise them by yourself, because a lot of y'all want to do that, and a lot of men don't talk about that. They make it seem like, listen, ladies, I see exactly what you do. You ladies like to, not only you pick these men to get these kids, you pick men to get kids from that you know ain't really gonna be there, so you can have that kid to yourself. Just like you do an animal. Oh, that's my dog. Don't do my dog like that. That's my cat. Listen to me. You the same way with children. You think it's yours and it's not. When there's another person that helped you to create it, it's theirs. But you ladies like to pick these men that you can make the kid with and then take the kid and then want the men to pay you. So now you can just be your own boss, do what you want, to act like you created and made it all and you didn't make shit. He's paying for your way of life. And you had to make a kid with him to live off of him. And you're taking his seed and you're using it as a chess piece and not doing what's in the best interest of the kid or the child. No. You guys are all wrong and all backwards and you're doing shit foul. Straight up, that's what it is. And unfortunately, like I said, independence come with the price. And let's look at it. Your car breaks down. You're in the middle of the night. You got to call a tow company. You got to call someone and you want someone to come to help you. You ain't got a man. If you had a man, he'd be there. The lady There was a lady that froze in the blizzard up in Buffalo, New York, I think. Black lady, was a nurse. Froze to death in her car. You know, when I looked at that, I was like, that's sad. If she would have had a man, that never would have happened. I know she didn't have one. Because you don't go out in a snowstorm hardly wearing anything covering yourself because you want to look good. You guys gonna have to ask yourselves what's more important, your pride in winning and making a point, or the goal of having someone. Is it more important for you to win the conversation or lose the person that you can be with? Lose the opportunity to have a family and a relationship. That's the question you're going to have to ask yourself, because that's really what it is. So that's what I wanted to say. Wow.